I want to welcome everybody to Tribal Country 44, where we talk about spiritual things, we talk about history itself. And I'd like to welcome Wunam, if I'm saying this right, and the brother,
Brother
uh,
Adinkra.
Brother Incan. Hey, how's it going, man?
Yeah, brother Adinkra.
Gratitude.
A lot of people can't. They get it wrong. They tear my name up.
Yeah, I want to get started. I want to say, how y'all. First of all, I want to see how did y'all came about going into the spiritual, and what was your journey like? And I want to know a little bit more about how you got connected.
You want to answer that?
Well, first of all, let me say Modi Busta. Modi Busta Oi. That means in African in my African tribal tongue, it means how are you? Okay. Um my maternal side is African. My mother's side, we're African. And I had Africa in the home. So I didn't get into it. I was born into it. I had no choice but to carry on the traditions. So when you say how we got into it, I had no choice. I was born into it. Something that we had no choice. We practiced traditional stuff in the home. We practiced traditional, rituals and different things we did in our home for my maternal side.
When did you first know that it was something special that was going on in your life, and what was the changes?
Well, when in African traditions, when you're born, the elders already know. So my grandmother, she raised me, but she already knew. So in African traditions, each child is looked at when they're born by the elders, and they know what gifts they have. They know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. So in African traditions, we actually already, I thought that was the guy, we already are alerted. But when did it get real noticeable? When I started seeing different spirits when I was little. I started seeing different spirits. Yeah.
As far as me,
Bring that whole thing back.
I got into traditions
Click something, get out.
by way of my wife because she gave me a reading years ago, and she told me things that I couldn't believe she could possibly know because she knew things about. She told me things that I never told nobody. To the point where she talked about she talked about my brother, one of my brothers that died, and she described him to a T. And it's like no, there's no way she could find stuff like that on the internet. How he looked, no, because he died when I was like 9 years old. She told me about my grandmother, described her to a T. And she told me about things I went through that nobody could know. That's how I knew that it was real because when a friend of mine told me to get a reading from her, and I was like, okay, I'll get a reading. I didn't think I'm thinking it's more like it's gonna be in the movies. Oh, I'm picking up this energy. I pick up this with you, like just a lot of Hollywood stuff, right? And when she gave my reading, she had me in tears because she was telling me stuff about my brother that passed away, and I was like, there's no way. And it just like she could have known that, and it just kind of freaked me out. Not in a bad way. It's just like I was shocked because you know how you think you think you know everything when it comes to spiritual stuff because you kind of don't believe in it like that. And when she told me the things she told me, I was like, wow. And then late at the end of the reading, she told me my purpose was to do traditional work and traditional healing. She seen that I was supposed to be a healer. So that's how I was brought into it. But as a child, I always had gifts. I would see the ancestors. I would see spirits. My grandfather came to me after he died. Just little different things like that. But I didn't. I was kind of embarrassed to tell people because I didn't want people to think I was going like I was crazy.
So how long have you been spiritual, like in a situation where you knew this was your calling? And what how many years did it took, what I'm saying, to get this far where you at?
Well, know that when you're young in African traditions, you in Africa, you have to carry on your tradition. So you have to do your work, okay? So you still have your teenage life, you still live your life, but you still have to do your work. When did I get serious about doing my work? When I got older, right?
Yeah.
I always did read. I did readings all my life. I could see all my life. I know how to read all my life. My mother, my grandmother, even my father. My father is African in America, but um, I really was going by my ancestors. And when my ancestors said it's time for you to teach about the traditions on the radio, because I used to do radio, I started teaching about African traditions. At first, they wasn't ready, so I couldn't teach too much. But then when I was on the radio doing my radio show, I started teaching about it, and then everybody was interested. Everybody wanted to know about the ancestors and how you do spiritual work and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna say probably about, well, I'm gonna say I've been doing readings since 1990s. Okay, yeah, 1990s, and
Wow.
I started putting it out to the world, because a lot of the stuff we didn't bring out right away, because a lot of people would look at you funny. They say, oh, you're doing voodoo, you're evil. You know what I mean? So a lot of stuff we couldn't reveal right away, but in the 2000s we started really sharing the information with the people. Yeah.
I
As for
mean,
me,
in your process, does it have any drawbacks or any beneficials? Like, kind of what's the benefit of spirituality that improve to your life? What it does for you?
mm,
What it does for everybody, because really, if we understand what spirituality is, we understand that everything is spiritual. We understand that they're
mhm,
doing rituals all over the world. Everything you see is a ritual. So really, everybody's spiritual, right?
Hmm.
And a
mhm,
lot of people just haven't um,
tapping
been
in.
open yet to that. But everybody's going through their transformation at a
Yeah.
different time, a different minute, a different hour. But everybody's spiritual.
Mhm.
So it was like, if everybody knew that everything's a ritual.
Hmm.
TV, what they do in politics are rituals. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
So
facts.
For
yeah,
sure.
Hmm. It's a lot of trickery and a lot of spiritual people that's in the government that actually using a lot of our people like knowledge, or I should say quantum knowledge, or alchemists, and they've been doing this for years. And a lot of people still waking up, and a lot of people still coming up out of the dark. Um, as far as like people that want to learn the basics of the tradition of what you do right now, what one must do, or do one must have to go and get traditional uh agreement by Babalao, or is one where we can share the same basic information between each other, and we can learn from each other about how to go about doing this, because
okay.
it's a lot of agreements and a lot of disagreements about that tradition.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I'll just say this. To be honest, anyone can practice African traditions. That's why you see white people get initiated into it. That's why you see Japanese people get initiated into it. That's why you see um, Indian people, different people get initiated into African traditions because it's a way of life. It's more of a practice of nature. So anybody can practice it. As far as special training, when that comes in is where you get more of the traditional training and the secrets. Everybody can't get the secrets because everybody's not going to be responsible. So
Right.
as far as that, um, you can practice it without having traditional training, but you can't get the secrets and the secret knowledge and the ancient rituals and rites without being initiated because they're not going to give them to you.
Right. Right. And see, what we got to understand. I mean, anybody can call on their Reese's, and
Mm-hmm.
let me just say this: not every tribe have babalaos. The only babalaos you see are in the Yoruba tradition,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're called babalaos. If you go to Lagos in Nigeria, they're not called babalaos. They're called dibias, right? And out in my tribe from Africa, maternal tribe, we call it frutista, right? So it's not the same. Everybody has their own traditional healers in their tribe, right? Now, if you want to get technical, even here, Africans in America, they had the American Indians, right? They had tribes too, right? They didn't call them babalaos, they called them shamans, right? Now, in South Africa, they call them shamans. So everybody can learn about any tradition they want, any tradition they want, because it's not sacred knowledge. Because everybody's spiritual. You're a physical being living a spiritual experience. Spiritual being living a physical experience. So everybody's spiritual. Now, if you want to know the secrets, because there are some people who's not responsible, because I used to get them all the time. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't give them the secrets because they would do bad with it, right? And what we do is we always divine, we always read them first, we always do a traditional reading so we can see, is that person going to be responsible? Then we can give you the secrets, okay? But it's not for everybody. Just like everybody in Africa is not traditional healers. They're spiritual, but they're not traditional healers. Each village has their own traditional healers. Okay?
Is each practice is much more different than others, right? As far as like you coming on in, is it a little bit different from like, synchronizing the body where it aligns with the right frequency or something like that? Or is it spells and rituals or ceremony type of vibe that, is the original way, the traditional way of like kind of like the basic start off kit?
Let me put it this way. There's some stuff that you there's some stuff you'll see in Africa that you think you only see on Wakanda or superhero movies that still exist in Africa today. Yeah. When you talk about frequencies, I'll give you an example. There's a ritual that's done with the fire, and there's a certain medicine that we take. And when you take that medicine, you jump in the fire and you disappear. Yeah, it's real.
Wow. I've been seeing a lot of the some of the ceremonies they have in Nigeria, and the parades they have with these floats, these spiritual floats they have around town. I know that it's more like, man, it's amazing because America, I know we so far behind on the spiritual, but the stuff they do over there is just blow your mind. You know what I mean?
That's right.
As far as like where we're heading at right now, what one must do when they come to you, as far as like is it in some kind of agreement or some kind of ceremony type of schooling they have to do?
Yeah. Well, we have the Wunam Spiritual Society, and what we do is we teach people based off of what their lineage tells us. So, for instance, I'm looking at you right now. You're straight Igbo. Your lineage comes from the Igbo tribe in Africa. So, if you would have come to one of the classes based off of your lineage, I would also we teach you multiple gods, right? We teach you multiple, but based off your lineage, I would teach you about the Igbo gods, right? And based off of what I'm seeing with your phenotype, it would be good for you to know this. So if we do a divination on you, we might say, okay, your great great grandfather was a Dibia, and if he's a Dibia, we can teach you about those gods. You can use those gods, okay? So what we do is we try to, most of all, teach people about the ancestors, which is number one. You should always know about your ancestors. Every other culture worships and pays homage to their ancestors, but Africans in America. Chinese, Indians, everybody pays homage to their ancestors. So we teach you about the importance of paying homage and making shrines for your ancestors. And then we teach you about the different gods. We teach you the basics of African spirituality. So I might teach you some rituals to offerings to give to your gods if you're from Nigeria, from Igbo, from the Dibia. I might teach you about some of the Yoruba gods. I might teach you about some of the Akan gods. I might teach you some about, because where I come from in Cabo Verde, Africa, we deal with mostly water spirits, and we deal with a lot of water spirits. So I might teach you about those. So we teach you basics of African spirituality and some of the gods from different tribes. You want to say something?
pretty much got it, nailed it.
Yeah, I would love to learn a little bit more about the what is it, Evo tribe?
Igbo
Evo?
tribe.
Okay.
Very
I
powerful
need to
tribe.
look I need to look that one up right there. Yeah, I definitely gotta look into that.
They got this
Um
Igbo tribe, and their god is Chuku, right?
mhm.
The thunder and lightning god, which is like Sango or like Thor, is called a Mariaho. So you have your own gods. They're very
Hmm.
powerful.
Yeah,
Be quiet.
very powerful. A lot. You know, they're starting to kind of come out a little bit about what they teach and their traditions, but they're more sacred. Yoruba is like maybe the only African tradition that I would say that
It's worldwide.
where you is worldwide, where everybody knows about multiple orisas and spirits like that. But for the most part, most of the tribes in Africa are more sacred when it comes to the spiritual practices.
Is y'all like kind of like building a communion center, like, or y'all be going to branch out or going to build a center or something like that later on?
Well, we're working on doing a village,
Hmm.
more like a village. So when you come, you're gonna feel like you're in the village of Africa or either in an Indian village. Yeah. We're taking it back. We're taking it back to nature. I don't want no center. I want you to be outside. I want you to connect with the trees. I want you to connect with the very thing that you're a part of. Remember, when you walk outside, you walk into yourself. So you want to connect with the very thing you're a part of. So we should always teach in nature. We should always be able to. Right now, we do it on Zoom because
Hmm.
everybody's all over. We got clients all over the United States.
Yeah, I'm still learning about my family history too because uh I'm a Pittsburgh baby. I was born in Pittsburgh, and that's Shoshone lands. A lot of my family up north is like the Densons, and some of them is like have so much tribal like information in the family. It's like we some kin and related to like a lot of different people, and it's like worldwide. So I wouldn't, I look at it like it's like the family has so much history, but we have so much like tribal information and DNA that's all that travels through that DNA of like generation.
Right.
And that generation always hold all that energy from all those separate generations that came before. And some people just come on faster than others. Some people get suspicious. Some people still get clairvoyant dreams, or the more you keep looking into it, the more that it resonate with you, and they'll get you that proper, like, the alignment. And because the information becomes so real when you be going through the dream channeling and stuff like that, meditation and stuff like that, um but I do see a lot of, like, the shamans in my family. And from what I would heard with the shamans, they used to take a certain person and ground them for like six days in the ground or something like that. Where you get like food for like 6 days or something like that. And they ground you for 6 days, more like you just straight naked, you know what I mean? That was like one of the old ways, but I was still looking at some of the tradition. I'm like, it's wild. And he said this is the way they do it, you know what I mean? And I would love to learn a little bit more. How long does it take for you and your husband, like, for far as like the connection what he had? How long did it took him, like, to come aboard, like, this is you right here?
See,
Um,
Mr. Hoodoo Man.
she always used to. When she brought me into tradition, I was still more into the. I was getting into the herbs, the plants, and stuff like that. And I
The
dealt more.
herbalist, yeah.
I dealt more with the.
Hoodoo.
I was dealing more with what she would call it hoodoo,
I
and
call him a Hoodoo Man.
she called me a hoodoo man because I'm the way I do my rituals, right?
Yeah.
So I was dealing more with Papa Legba and some of the Haitian spirits because they those were the ones I was attracted to first, and they would always talk to me, especially Papa Legba. He would always talk to me, play jokes on me, just like he would talk to me a lot, like a lot. And so I was more attracted to that. But you know, she used to always tell me, you need to deal more with your African tradition. She used to always tell me that. I'm like, yeah, but this is part of African tradition. So I wouldn't listen to her. And then one day, Legba told me, he came to me and said, you need to deal more with your African traditions. And I said, why? He said, that's where your lineage comes from. And so that's after that, I told her, she was like, I've been told you you're supposed to deal with your African traditions, but you won't listen to me. You have to wait for Legba to tell you. So, but
Yeah.
I will say, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even been doing it, because like when she brought me in and I got initiated, I was still kind of like, it took me like, I want to say about 3.5 years to actually fully start really getting more into it, doing the readings and all of that. So I got initiated in 2011. I didn't really get serious until about 2000.
15.
Like 13.
No, you were
About
still
2000.
dealing with other stuff.
I was dealing with other stuff, but
So he ain't
I
get
didn't get
serious
serious.
about
Okay.
the African
I didn't get
stuff.
serious about the African
Yeah.
stuff until later.
Yeah,
But
that's why I used to call him Mr. Hoodoo Man.
she's always called me Hoodoo
Doing
Man.
candles and all that. I was like, you need
Hey,
to come back.
them candles
Oh
work.
man.
Candles
Yeah.
work.
I never said they didn't work. I
Them
just
candles,
said
they work, but
that's a lower level of magic, okay?
Yeah.
Because if you go to Africa, he knows now.
yeah, they got some.
They got some
They got
stuff for
some
your
stuff.
behind. Trust me.
Yeah.
They
That's a
the
powerful man.
the ritual you was talking about that the Native Americans do, where you
Bury the
naked and they
bodies.
bury their body. In Africa, they got a similar ritual, but they don't. They bury the body, but they take the spirit out of the body, and so they bring you back up either
After 3 days.
3 days. So they
Right.
take your whole spirit out the body, and then you got
But see, we do that too.
and you go and learn.
The second initiations,
Yeah.
we bury you in dirt. We can't do it like
Wow.
we do it in Africa, but we bury you in dirt.
But in Africa, you would
In
go.
Africa,
You would be learning. You would be getting your training in the spiritual world when they take your spirit out your body,
right.
and then when it's time to come back, they put your spirit back in your body, and they have a whole tradition where they bring you back to life.
Yeah.
Wow. So this this is more like the spiritual death.
Yeah,
Right.
but it's real.
Okay. Yeah, I've been reading a lot about the spiritual death because there's so many ways they do it because they have to do this to align your body with some particular way of you, like having a godhood about yourself or something like that, bringing you into the knowing of like the godhood, basic. Okay.
Depending on what tribe you're in, though.
Yeah, depending on what
Remember,
tribe.
there's over 3,000 tribes in Africa, and each tribe has their own tradition. Each tribe has their own god, so they do things a little bit different in different tribes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. What some of the spirits have you worked with in the past? That's very protective over you.
Shit, all of them are protective over us.
uh,
I can
yeah.
say, well, as far as me, I had several instances before I even started dealing with African traditions. I had a one day, I used to work for AT&T, and I was working at these people's house, and they had their neighbor had children, but they had their pit bull outside loose watching their children, and so pit bulls can be very protective of children. And I
Yeah, they
went
are.
on the side of the
They are.
house because I had to go work on the side of their house,
Mm-hmm.
and the pit bull just charged at me, and so I stopped there. I stood there and I was looking, and I grabbed the little razor that they give you at AT&T, and Legba said, "Don't worry," and then the dog just stopped like 10 feet from me, turned around and walked off. So
Did
go
I
ahead.
was gonna say did any like what happened after that once the that situation happened? Did it's more like the animal very like have a
It's
instinct
like
of like
it's like the animal looked at me, and it's like he seen something around me. And he turned around.
Like he's seeing Legba behind you. Like he's
yeah,
seeing that.
you
Right.
walking with the spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's showing you like much like as he would respect somebody that was royalty.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Okay.
There's we have many spirits. The trees are spirits, the flowers are spirits, so we have many spirits.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can give you an
The
instance one time.
totems and what? Yeah, I
Like,
dream about a lot of totems.
really, yeah, there's
Yeah.
some animal totems. I do animal
Hmm.
readings too, but my daughter, when she used to go to work, she used to get up very early. So there's certain spirits that if I clap my hands, I will call on these certain spirits. It could be a lion, it could be panthers, it could be monkeys, it could be bears, right? So every morning when she would get up, it would be dark. So I would call my panthers to walk with her to her car. One morning she actually seen them. She said, "Mom, I seen these two black things running by the car." I said, "Because I called the panthers to protect you while you're going out there." That's one instance. Another instance, I
Okay.
had a client I was doing some work for, and we were doing some traditional work outside. And again, I wanted my tiger, not my tiger, my lions to come. Now, there's certain spirits that can be put around you. So these spirits I had around us all the time. You can
Hmm.
hear them, but you can't see them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she was in the chair and she said, "I keep hearing a lion." And
Hmm.
you can actually hear it on the camera when we're filming the tradition. You can hear it like growling.
Yeah, I remember I was watching the camera footage and I was like, I swear I keep hearing a lion growling. Like, you know how how lions like purr like,
I used to have that a lot. I
and
just had,
I'm
yeah.
like, what
I
is
had a
that?
lion
She
come to me.
started.
Yeah.
My wife started laughing. She was like, I called my lion.
Call my lions to me. So people need to know they have the power. It's
Mhm.
not hard to do this. They have the power. You can call them to you. But we have many spirits that walk with us. We got fire spirits. We have, tornado spirits. We
I
have
didn't
water
even.
spirits. A
Okay.
lot.
I didn't even know about the angelic lions. That was new to me. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
About angelic lions. I had like one of the spiritual sisters that came to me. She said, "You have a angelic lion that's with you." Um, when I was like in my teens, I used to have like a lot of bad dreams and stuff like that. When I used to go to school a lot, I never could have that rest that I could, and it always happened right when I go to sleep. Like when I wind down, I always have like this like bad like negative energy just try to like uh make me fear something. You know what I mean? I was
Uh-huh.
like going through a dream state where my body was half like sleep and
Mhm.
half woken.
Mhm.
And I used to have like different beings used to come to me while I was asleep. And I literally can hear them walk in the room. And I could literally like feel the energy. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like make your hair stand up on your back and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I used to have that a lot. And I used to have to the point where my body just go and shift off to like different like astral planes and stuff like that. One minute I end up in a doctor's office. The next minute I end up here and here. And it used to play to me like I used to hate going to sleep at night. I used to hate it because I was like my school work was like having problems and stuff like that. I went to my mother, but she thought I was crazy. I just say, Mom, I said, Mom, I said, man, I've been having these bad dreams and stuff like that. I can't get no sleep. You know how mothers is. Some mothers just be like, you bad, this and that, and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I just say, then I just I kept it to myself. You know what I mean? Then once I kept keeping it to myself, um, it started getting worse. Then the thing about it, she said you need to go read a Bible. When I go read a Bible, it made it worse. When I say it made it worse, it made it worse.
It will make it
Literally,
work.
like I'm reading Psalms, I'm reading all like different scriptures and stuff. I'm praying, and it never helped me out whatsoever. I never couldn't understand that.
People
I'm
don't
saying I'm
realize
doing everything, huh?
people don't realize the Bible. When you start reading it, it can open up portals into your house too. You know how
Yeah.
they say, "Oh, don't do tarot cards; they open up portals." The Bible will open up a portal
Portal too.
in
Yeah,
your house. I had a client
I had
that
that. This way I got to understand. Yep.
I
Yeah,
had a
you're right.
client. I had a client when I was living in Houston, Texas, and I had to call my wife. I was like, um, I got this guy. He's having spirits attack him and pulling
Hmm.
on him and all of this stuff. Because somebody, when I did the reading, his ex-wife was sending spirits to him because they had gotten a divorce. She was sending spirits to him, and they were attacking him. So I had to call her and ask her what to do, and she
Yeah.
told me what to do. And he was using the Bible, and he was praying. He was doing everything. He was reading all the scriptures in the
Yeah.
Bible. And
Same thing I was doing.
it's like they was getting worse.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it
And
was.
he could, and then I told him you gotta choose. You gotta put this Bible down and let me do it the spiritual way so I can get all of this stuff out. And once he did that, and I cleaned out his house and I got the spirits out of his house, he haven't had any problems since.
Yeah.
And he didn't realize by calling on those beings in the Bible and calling on Jesus, he was opening up portals in
Opening
your house.
portals, yeah.
That's
But
what I didn't see. That's what I need to understand because when I was like that, I ain't had nobody to go to. I'll fight my own battles myself. I was in the world by myself, fighting battles, pulling tug of war. Um, basically, one day, this happened all the way up to I was like from 10 all the way up to 17. I ain't know how to deal with it, but I was starting getting good at dealing with it. You know what I mean? So I said maybe I just need to just stay up. Yeah. So I try to stay up. You know what I mean? Try to avoid certain things, not the do's and don't. But basically, when I start something just came to me. I snapped and I go into my meditation. I like, why was I meditating today? You know what I'm saying? I'm meditating. So I'm seeing like different visions in my meditations. Um Something just told me say call on your ancestors. So I had took a shower that day, it was getting close to night. Um Here they come again. I could feel it. I feel it. Like they ready to drag me somewhere. I didn't know where I was finna go. And is it gonna be the doctor's office or whatever? I was feeling all kind of pain that these beings was doing to me, far as like operating on me, all kind of stuff. I hate to talk about that stuff because it's kind of like it bothers me at times, but I learned how to deal with it.
You sure it
Um,
wasn't alien beings? Because alien beings will take you and do that.
Man, I probably was, but when I had called on a particular I called on a spiritual ancestor. I did. When I called on him, it's more like I heard a growling in the room, and it shut everything down. It came. He literally like smelled me. Like I guess he was just trying to see is I'm okay. So he like sniffed on me. I could feel it. It felt like a dog, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's almost like everything stopped, like middle, like just literally stopped. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it just stopped, and I had no more problems after that. You know what I mean? I had no more problems. You know what I'm saying? Then I started getting visions of Anubis being around me. Uh, I started getting like different like Egyptian type of dreams and stuff like on and off playing throughout my life. Um, I had different episodes, but I was still trying to get the understanding. You know what I mean? Because like my dreams, I'd be like in Egypt one minute, next minute somewhere else, and I had sometimes some ago, I'm gonna say like a little bit back, my dreams like to shut off. Basically, it shut off, it'll cut back on, it shut off, then it shut off completely.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand that. Maybe it was like a spiritual reset or whatever. But I felt like it was a reset, more like we going to just reset you over type of thing, like they tried to do or something like that. That's what I felt like what it was. But I can make sense out of it because I can feel the energy of like the connection, like it's allowing me to understand what it is. You know what I mean?
You got the energy of Ramesses. You have the energy of, or you carry the energy of the ancient Kemetic Egyptian god called Ramesses. Ramesses the Third. Go look him up.
Yeah.
That's who you are
Mm.
in the ancient Egyptian, Ramesses the Third. And Anubis' real name is Ampu.
Pooh. Yeah. You have a son too. Yeah.
That's that you said that's your son's name?
No, he have a son,
Oh,
Anubis. I could see him. I could visualize him, like he have a son.
okay. So Ramesses the Third is who you look like and who you are reincarnated as. Ramesses the Third. Go look him up,
Yeah. Okay.
and you'll see his
Ramesses.
life is probably similar to yours.
Yeah. You said Ramesses the third.
Yep,
Yeah. I'm gonna look that up.
look that up. Now,
Okay.
the ancient ones. I have a shrine set up to them too. I have a whole shrine set up to all the Kemetic Egyptian gods. And they actually taught me how to speak some of the tongue, the ancient tongue.
Yeah.
Actually, it's
Yeah,
actually
I
in her
actually talk
book.
about it in the book.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we need to talk about that too, man. We got to let the people know about your book. We got to let them know about that. Where it talks about a little bit of Lemurian, your teachings and other things. How is that book, and where can we find it? Definitely.
It's called the Cosmic Oracle,
Hmm.
and it's called I Seen, I Heard, and I Know. The Cosmic Oracle, I Seen, I Heard, and I Know. And I talk about different things in that
We
book.
put you on the big screen.
I don't get into Lemuria too much,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
but I
You
do
want me to
talk about the Lyrans. I do talk about the portals through Antarctica.
Okay.
There's portals that go from Egypt into Antarctica and all the
Hmm.
megaliths around the world.
Yeah.
So people don't know it's underground. I talk about dreams, some of the dream meanings. I talk about the repetitive numbers, what they mean, 111, 222, 333. I talk about that. I teach you how to set up your African ancestral shrines. There's so much in the book. And then of course we talked about the cat people, the Lyrans. I talk about the Lyrans a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel a
Yeah.
connection there too as well.
Yeah.
Do we? I mean, does one must have um being here on planet Earth? Do we have like multiple avatars like all over the universe? Right.
I
Why is
think
it
so.
that we have so much connection with different realities or different like beings? Is it because we had lived different lives in those different part of the cosmos?
Well, I talk about that in my book too. I say I'm from planet Saturn.
Hmm.
People think I'm crazy, but I don't care because I know what I know. What I know. I had several dreams that I was sitting on the rings of Saturn, and when I was sitting on the rings of Saturn, I was sitting with my grandkids, and the Earth was like maybe about. I'm going to say the Earth was from where we're at to where you're at, but we can see it. And pieces of America was falling off of the Earth, and we were sitting on the rings of Saturn, and I was showing my grandkids. I was like, "Look, they're falling. They're falling. America's falling." Now, I had dreams like that, and I know that
Hmm.
I came from the planet Saturn. Okay. Now we do each of us have our own planet systems, right?
Hmm.
I actually communicate with some of the beings. To share a story, I had a client years ago. He was from Canada. He created a whole clothesline with nothing but alien art, and it was real pretty. So he called me up and said, "I want you to do a reading for me. I need you to communicate with the cosmic beings, the aliens." He said, "Can you do that?" I said, "Yeah."
Exetarian. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's many aliens now, right? So
Yeah.
these beings, I don't like to call them beings, I call them our cosmic family, right? They talk to me all the time. So I contacted the beings. I said, "I need to have a message for this young man. He wants to know what to do, how to do it." So the beings came to me. They were very tall. They were dark skinned. There was one that was tall, two that was tall, one was like medium sized, and one was short. Very dark skinned with white hair. They was communicating with me telepathically. They didn't open their
Hmm.
mouth. They had mouths, but they didn't talk with their mouths. They communicated telepathically. They told me to write down these symbols. They wanted him, the young man I was reading, to decode the symbols.
Yeah.
So I wrote down 5 of the symbols. About a month later, I was watching a History Channel, and they were showing the Sumerian tablet. And on the Sumerian tablet, 5 of those symbols were there.
Mm.
So I called him. I said, "You have to decode those symbols." But I seen them on the History Channel, and those are real symbols. They come from the ancient Sumerians. So the
Hmm.
beings gave me the right symbols to draw. But that's not the only time. They always give me messages. I get messages from the cosmic beings, our cosmic family. I get messages from the sea family. I get messages from the ancient family in Egypt or Kemet. Okay.
Hmm.
And that's why, I say the cosmic oracle because they always communicate with me. They told me years ago that we needed to ground ourselves. They'll come to me. I hear the voices. And they'll come to me. They told me we need to ground ourselves. They told me we need to do a week of nothing but plants, eat nothing but plant food, because the actual veins in the plants is like the blood. The chlorophyll is like the blood that's going to put us through a transformation. So we needed to eat nothing but greens.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is coming from the beings in the cosmos. They communicate with me often. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, so as far as like the diet, what one must do to like have that perception of like that meditation vibe of like that connection.
As far as your diet go, first of all, everybody first of all needs to take off their shoes and get connected back to earth. Because remember what I said, when you walk
Yeah.
outside, you walk into
Grounded.
yourself. So you are a part of, your body's literally made up of the same thing as earth, of nature.
Mm-hmm.
You got to connect yourself back. We disconnected ourselves. Why do you think in Africa and in other countries they're so connected to nature? Because they walk barefooted, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Facts.
Always connecting with nature. Now, you want to ground yourself. You want to connect yourself back with nature. You want to, now that was given years ago. You can do it now, but a week nothing but greens. We did cabbage, we did collard greens, we did broccoli, we did spinach, everything green.
Salad, everything.
We did salads, everything
Mm-hmm.
for 1 week. Because you're
Yeah.
going to reset
That's where I'm at right now.
your body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Meditation, you don't want to meditate too much unless you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a client I was doing a reading for last night at this time, that she was meditating and going deep, and these demons are pulling at her. Okay? Got to be careful. Now, nobody should meditate. This is just my theory and what I've gotten from the spirits and the beings. Don't meditate more than 15 minutes. When you go too deep, you can open portals for disagreeable spirits, as we call them in Africa, or demons to come in.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's probably what happened to me when I was younger, because I never knew what it was. It just something pulled me to it, like just go ahead and just it was like a connection that I had to do. It was like it was already in my DNA. I used to just like this. I just like the vibe in the meditation, and I believe it did open portals.
It
You know what I
does.
mean? Yeah,
Right. And if you don't have nobody to pull you out, they're gonna attach themselves to you.
yeah. So we
Okay.
basically bringing them back to the physical, and they
Yeah,
come
you
like
probably experienced that when you said you woke up and you was half asleep and half awake, and them
yeah,
demons,
like in between
yeah,
like a slight sleep,
mm,
where you could feel you could hear everything around you, but you can't get up. I be trying to get up, but I can't. I be fighting my body, but I can't get up. It's just hard. It just feel like somebody that's drunk or something. You just like I can't get up, but I'm there. And
Yeah, that's
most of
because
the time,
sometimes it be them beings that be holding you down.
I be fighting. Like my mom will she'll walk in my room and see me like literally like I'm fighting, like I'm trying to get up. Like she'd be like, "What?" She had to go and get some water and just wake me up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, as far as like the book and stuff like that, how can anybody can reach you? You know what I mean? As far as like your Facebook, Instagram, and what kind of service that you provide for your clients?
um, you can reach us at wunamandadinkra.com. It's just like it's spelled up there, Wunam and Adinkra. WUNAM and AND Adinkra,
Mm-hmm.
ADINKRA.com. So you can
Mm-hmm.
go to our website there and you can book a reading. You can buy products. We teach classes.
I'm definitely
We
booking.
do a lot of things.
We do a lot of spiritual work more than anything. We do a lot of rituals for people. We do court case rituals. We do love rituals. We do healing rituals. I mean, you name it, we're doing it. So we do a lot of rituals for people.
It's like Ricky. Yeah, you do
No,
Ricky healing too?
no, not Reiki. No,
Okay, Ricky.
when I say
Ricky.
rituals, sometimes like we got a client coming this week, he needs to be cleansed, right?
Hmm.
He's been hearing demons, he's been hearing voices. So we got to get a chicken and clean him with a chicken. And then we
Yeah, I
sacrifice
saw that. Like, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's one of the
sacrifice the
traditions.
chicken to the gods, you know what I mean? So there's different rituals we do. Um,
Um,
The one with the egg yolk. I think it was with the egg, like the egg, and
No,
then
no,
No,
no.
we don't do
smash
that.
it somewhere.
We don't do that type of ritual. We do different
Okay.
ones. But and you can reach us at the 909 number 909-749-8626. 2686. I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
No,
It's 8626.
Oh, that's what I said.
909-749-8626. They can reach us there if they want. We have spiritual soaps, we have spiritual medicines.
Mm-hmm.
You name it, we got spiritual protection, spiritual protection.
Right.
So, like, to protect you from people doing spiritual work on you, from demons, we got demon protection. We
Mhm.
have they can go to the site and see. If they go to the website, they'll see that we have vast, of different things for spiritual use. We also do a lot of spiritual readings. We do ancestral readings. We do pet readings. We do health readings. We do love readings,
Past life readings.
past life readings. We do readings if you want to know about your journey on this planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we do
That's a
a
beautiful
lot of
thing.
things. Now we've been
Yeah.
teaching class. We do our classes on Sundays at 9:30. We're getting
On
ready to
Zoom, right?
start,
The Zoom.
on Zoom,
The
right?
Zoom.
On
Okay.
Zoom.
Yeah. Everybody want to know about that.
Yeah, we do them on Zoom, and we'll let you come in twice. Okay, we do give everybody a chance to come and see how they like it. The last week they were learning how to set up their water shrine with all the water deities because of the weather that we're getting ready to see. So
Hmm.
we have them setting up a shrine so they can start talking to the water gods to protect their houses if floods come. Okay, that's one of
Yeah.
the things we're doing. We're going to start teaching about African divination. Now we read with stones and bones and shells. So we're teaching them about African divination, not tarot cards. We're doing it the ancient way. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to start teaching you about that Sunday.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna be there. I would love to see this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would love to hear the information too, and I would take notes and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
let me get the.
But
I'm gonna
as
get you
far as
the
like
map.
We're
Show you.
going to get you the mat and show you what we're talking about.
with the divination readings, what does that connect you with the divination?
I got it.
Say it again.
The divination readings.
Divination reading is a little bit different. It's a little bit more accurate. Now,
Hmm.
when you do, I mean, with the exception of me being able to see, right? Because I see naturally. So the divination reading just gets more into depth of different things that's going on in your life, right?
Yeah.
So just say, for instance, the bones. The bones are considered the human element.
Hmm.
Meaning, when I throw, there's one large and one smaller. So the human element would be just say you and your wife. So if I
Yeah.
throw the bones, it's going to tell me what's going on with you and your wife. So
Yeah.
if it falls on the red side, that's telling me that there's energy. Y'all been arguing. Y'all need to stop arguing. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me just show you. This is the divination map. You don't have to take out the tweet. This is the divination map. Can you see that?
Hmm.
Now, on this divination map, it has different sections. It got north, east, west, south, southwest, east, west, southwest. I'm northwest,
And it's
and
sealed.
it's all the eight cardinal points, right?
Gotcha.
But the tools that go with it, we throw the tools, and it'll tell me what's going on with you. It'll tell me if
Hmm.
your money's low. It will tell
Yeah.
me if you've been fighting. It will tell me
Yeah.
if you got health problems. It'll tell me if you're sick. It'll tell me all of that.
Hmm.
It'll tell me if you got enemies. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. So when you're doing the divination reading, you're throwing the bones and the stones. It's a little bit more in depth about what's going on in your life.
Hmm.
And
How much the readings is?
well,
Is
we
it,
got
is it
readings.
listed on the site? Is it listed on
It's on
everything
the
listed
site.
on?
We got
Okay.
readings all the way from $150 down to $10.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
down. I can't wait to do this.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
look
I'm
on
ready
the
to look
site.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, now you can look on the site, but we do the ancestral readings is the most expensive because the ancestral reading when we do them, it's like I have to set up sort of like a little ritual space. So
Hmm.
when I'm communicating with they get three ancestors. They have to send three pictures if they have them. If they don't, we just need the names. And I talk to each ancestor for you. I'll tell you what they look like. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what they're saying to me, and I'll give you messages. So the ancestor readings are the most expensive because I'm on there for an hour with them, and I'm talking to all three ancestors for them.
Hmm.
Right?
That's the one to get everybody emotionally and
Yeah,
crying.
if you go on our Facebook, if you look on our Facebook, I just did them the other night. You can go on there.
Not yeah, Facebook and
Oh, you know I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
on there.
People
Yeah,
was like, "Oh, how did
yeah,
you know that? Yes, she got long hair. Yes, da,
yeah,
da, da, da." People, they get excited, and it's a blessing to be a blessing because sometimes people will call for ancestry readings because just say if they had a brother that died and they didn't get to talk to him before he left, and he had a message for them. That's where we come in and we tap in, and I can say, well, your brother said that he wanted you to go and get such and such and such. People love those readings because, a lot of times they want to connect with their people that have transitioned or died.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
was
times I want to know
I
if
was
they're
real
okay
close to
too.
a lot of people.
really.
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite auntie who left me a while back. Her name was Gertrude Stevens. Um, man, she was like really protective over me. Until she had caught cancer. But
Oh,
I didn't make it to the funeral because I didn't want to see her like that. It was like
yeah.
it was just a thing, and everybody respected that. I said I just can't see her like that. You know what I mean? Before she left, but I said my piece. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I, said my piece and and left it as is. Then her sister that was close to her named Barbara McGriff. I used to love this lady too. She had a real big heart. You know what I mean? She will give you the clothes off of her back. Literally, she's like the person that if somebody hurting in the family, she will
Mhm.
come. She will make it her all to come to you, give you whatever, like a little couple dollars, whatever she had at the time, clothes and feed you and stuff. She was like one of them type of people.
Oh,
Had a
oh.
good spirit. You know what I mean? And that's what
So
I
she died.
loved
She
about
died
her.
too.
Huh?
She
Yeah.
died too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so both of them died.
Yeah, both of them. They
Okay.
was like, and the thing about it, I had a big family, cause it's like six uncles and like six sisters,
Hmm.
and all of them had children. Now
Hmm.
I'm probably down to the last three right now. You know what I mean? But
The one that she was close with, I see that she laughed a lot, but I see her
she
smile.
did. She had a smile like out of
Yeah,
this world,
yeah, I see her
and
smile. Yeah,
yeah, she always had kept a smile. She always kept a smile, even through like hard times. She kept a smile on her face. She always kept a smile on her face.
yeah,
And she
yeah.
made it her all to see all the children. And she like, I love you, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It no matter if somebody was going through something real like hard or whatever,
Hmm.
she'll make it her all like, I'm here for you. Even if they talk about you, I'm here for you. She was like one of them persons.
One
She
of them
stand
times.
right there with you through thick and thin. You know what I mean?
Her smile to me almost looks like Angela Bassett.
Yeah,
She
that's
had
it.
the cheekbones, and she almost had a smile like
Yeah,
Angela
she
Bassett.
always had those like big little hamster cheeks.
Yeah, them
Yeah,
cheek. Yeah, yeah. Yep.
yeah.
Very,
And she had freckles. She had a lot of freckles. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Very good
Hmm.
woman. Very good hearted woman. I feel bad for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the kids was like pretty much she was going through something with her children, and the children were like this, but but they took care of her. They really did.
They did, but they pulled on her energy too much too.
Yeah, they
She
did.
worried about her
She
kids.
made she made all of them into like real powerful people. Like
Yeah,
they like lawyers and doctors and real like real estate, and they really like high like this, but she really like she was pretty much living in the middle of like I'm not finna change for nobody
right.
like that. That's how she kept it. She kept it real platonic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm. She
Yeah,
she comes visit you sometime.
yeah. She came to me in my dream.
She
She
did.
actually did. Yep, she came to me in a dream, and my uncle came to me in a dream. It was like a while back, but she
Mhm.
came to me, and
Okay.
I seen her. I said something to her, but she kind of like I couldn't hear what she was saying. It was like just like wind. You know what I'm saying? I
Hmm.
couldn't have no understanding what it was though. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
I was like, then I started seeing my uncles and stuff like with her and stuff like, I just know everything was all right.
Did you have a friend that was brown skin, that was kind of
Yeah.
skinny, that died?
Brown skin friend,
He was kind of
long
skinny, kind of skinny.
yeah, a long time ago. It's like in school. Like I had a friend that he got into a lot of stuff. Like he was playing football. Um, basically make a long story short, he got killed over a female.
Yeah.
Yeah, he,
I keep picking up. He's around you. I keep picking him up around you.
yeah,
Yeah. A lot of times, if you have friends like that, they'll come to you if you're spiritual. So he's trying to get your attention.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was a situation where I didn't. It was like one of those days that um like we used to walk off the bus and just walk home, whatever. I didn't do that this time. I actually stayed and went to school and did what I was supposed to do that day. But
Hmm.
if I would have went that route, I would have ended up the same way with him. And that's crazy that it happened that way. So I found out he got shot today. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? I thought about it. I said if I would have walked home with him, it would have happened the same way. Because
Yeah.
what happened was like it was a situation with a woman and another dude got jealous and literally they he like one of those people that don't back down type of thing, and
Hmm.
always had people like he always like had that room full of people like that love him.
Right.
um he much more like kind of like initiate the fire basically,
Right.
and they knew that he can scrap, you feel me?
Right.
And
Right.
they pretty much like did a U-turn, like I'm come back later on, and it happened 3 days later after that, and
Wow.
that's when they opened fire on him. He was either walking home or something, I don't know where it was. he they shot him. He ran on somebody's porch
Hmm.
and rung the doorbell and died literally on the lady porch.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, he's walking with you. He showed me himself. That's why I asked you that because I'm picking him up. He's around you. Okay. Maybe pour some libations for him or something.
yeah, it was just basically I just want to make sure he was all right, you know what I mean? I still got
No,
love
no, no,
for him.
no.
No,
No.
she's telling you to
I'm
pour
telling you, pour
libations.
libations for him.
Oh,
Meaning,
okay.
get some water. This is water right here, but this is mineral water. So water.
Okay.
Call his name and pour libation because he's walking with you. And the only reason he's walking with you is because you're spiritual. So he's wanting you to recognize him. He showed me himself right away. While you're
Hmm.
talking about your aunt, I'm seeing this young man standing on your side over here.
Yeah.
This is your what's that? That your right side. He's standing on your right side. So he's
Yeah.
getting my attention. And I'm trying to give you the message.
Hmm.
Pour some water for him.
Gotcha.
You remember his name?
Yeah, Gary White. It never go away. I remember because he was like the star, like running back or of the school. He basically was on his way to like going to college. Yeah,
Okay. Gary White. Well, pour some libations for him because he's standing with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I do that.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Yeah, he just showed me himself. That's why I asked you.
Hmm.
He was a good kid though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just he was just like one of them person that didn't that he never backed down. Like literally, you can't really tell him like what to do or whatever. He's just like you just can't cut it off like literally,
Right.
because he stood up for me like a lot of time. um we was basically like childhood friends. They would he was that one person, like if 8 people came against us, one person, and they stood in front of me, he literally like right there, it's like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's why he's probably walking with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's around you though. Yeah, so make sure you pour some libations for him.
Yeah, I never had say goodbye to him. I never couldn't. I
Well,
forgot. I
you ain't
totally.
gotta
Yeah.
say goodbye. 'Cause you gotta remember he's here, but his body's gone. So
Yeah.
nobody dies. Your aunt is still here, but her body, that physical body, gotta go.
Yeah.
You know,
So
we all spiritual beings living a physical experience. So this body don't never last long, but
yeah.
that soul lasts forever. And
Yeah.
that's why, back to your first question, you can travel to different planets. You can astral plane. When you go to sleep, your soul is astral planing and going everywhere you want to go.
Yeah. The five and
Yeah.
up. The 5D and
You
up.
go to
Right.
the planets. You can go through the sea. Although everything is connected as one, we're just in a very very dense form of the
Hmm.
sea right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's
Any
kind of
messages
deep.
you want to give to like anybody that's on a spiritual journey, and a message for the world, or the connection that you want to leave? Like, you know what I'm saying? I could feel your heart. Your heart is like very pure.
Mm-hmm.
Wuna and brother Adinka.
Adinkra. Adinkra.
Dinkwa. Okay.
No, Adinkra.
I think
Dinkwa.
Adinkra.
Ra.
Right.
Ra. Okay,
Right.
like Ra. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay. You want to go
So,
ahead?
so Spirit want us to let everybody know to prepare for this year, physically and spiritually. Spirit is saying there's going to be a great spiritual war and a physical war coming. Um, but more importantly, focus on the spiritual. There's going to be some things that we're going to need to know and do as far as setting up protection and dealing with people, and just um, we need to come back and communicate more with our ancestors than anything. A lot of people are getting into the deities and the spirits, but Spirit is saying the ancestors want us to come deal with them more.
Yeah.
And but we need to prepare for change, because change is coming.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming, and it's going to be harsh. A lot of people all these people that are doing unrighteous rituals. They're getting ready to be dealt with. Some are going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Some are going to learn their lesson, and some are going to just leave spirituality alone altogether. But Spirit is saying that we must do right with the gifts they have given us, or everybody's going to be stripped of their power, like the ones that are doing unrighteous.
So to put it in the terms of those who are Christians, let me explain something to y'all. It's called Armageddon, but Armageddon is not according to what Revelations say. Armageddon is a war within. So that means that you are going through a war, spiritual war with your own soul. That means you have a choice to be on the righteous side or the unrighteous side. So Armageddon is basically, which side do you choose? Do you choose the righteous or the unrighteous side? So this war is not just outside of us, it's also inside of us. And we are going to see a lot of change. But if we do not walk on the righteous path, then we will be led to the unrighteous path. And like my husband said, you will see deaths. If you don't do what's right and you're doing wrong, whether it be lying, stealing, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about just not for us regular folks, politics,
Yeah.
world leaders,
World leaders.
all this that's going
Mm-hmm.
on, they're going to be punished. There's a scripture in the Bible that says the rich shall be poor and the poor shall be rich. That's really an African proverb. They will be stripped of their monetary funds. So the rich will be starting getting, begin to become poor, because there's also economic change that's taking place. There will be not much money. There will be more gold exchanges and a lot more that's going to be coming back. So they got to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
The poor, who's really not poor, that just means that you must bring righteousness in your life by doing what's right, right? By your fellow human beings, your fellow sisters and brothers. Even the white people who want to be racist, they better stop that bullshit, because they need to understand that there's no more being racist. It's all about being righteous and bringing peace, love, and harmony back to this earth. We are going to see some floods because mother's womb has to be cleansed. So when these floods come here, don't get scared. Just prepare, because there's a cleansing that's taking place. And we have to remember, lastly, we have to remember our body's made up of water. What? Our body's 75% water. Our brain is 95% water. Our organs are made up of water. So remember, when these floods take place, just like the moon affects your emotions, the water that's coming will affect your body as well. This is also going to help you go through a transformation. This is also going to help you embark on that journey of being more righteous and connected to the very thing you're a part of. That's what I have to leave for humanity.
There's a quote from the Bible that said, "The last shall be first." Is that the same response of the information you just quoted?
No, uh-uh. The last, no, 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 no. We got to remember that Bible is African folklore, lies and
Okay.
plagiarism.
Yeah.
African folk lies and
Mm-hmm.
plagiarism and truth, some truth. So I
Yeah.
tell people don't throw away the Bible because there's a lot of African folklore in there. But
Yeah.
what it is showing you that you see how is it? Tell me this, my brother. How is it that there's people with billions of dollars in this world, and you have children and mothers that are homeless in the United States of America right now, but you got
Mm,
billionaires in this country right now.
yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
see, so when that Bible speaks of that, which is really an African folklore, they're going to be stripped of that because they're greedy. There's no way in the world that you should not have a beautiful house and a nice place for your kids to play in a backyard or whatever you want for your children because that man over there wants to be greedy and have power and take all the money for himself. It's not
Yeah.
supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
That's why you're seeing the amount of beings. They already been here, but y'all haven't seen nothing yet. These
Mm-hmm.
beings are getting ready to be making themselves more noticeable. Miami wasn't nothing.
Yeah. I can feel it in my bones. And
You feel
people
it,
like,
right?
yeah, I can feel it. I can feel the energy in the air. I can feel it when I sleep. And if I guess some people can feel like different energies and they have that ability too. And I believe that's one of the abilities that's coming on the line. Um, as far as like everybody abilities, I know everybody has separate abilities, but I believe in the future, everything gonna be like telepathically, like where we have that connection.
Well, you're right because if you remember, we're going through a DNA reactivation. I talk about that in the book too. So it's not activation, it's reactivation because during the different ages, remember, we used to use all strands of our DNA.
Yeah.
So during the cancer age, the DNA was shut down.
Mm-hmm.
The DNA was shut down, and then when we came into the Piscean age, that was the age of not knowing. So then man began to teach you about Jesus, about the Bible, about this, about that, right? Because at
Mm-hmm.
that time your DNA was shut down. Now what's happening, you're right. The DNA is reactivating. So in the book, I talk about the junk DNA, which is not junk DNA, it's part of what's reactivating because at one time, if you go back to ancient Egypt, remember, we used to be able to shapeshift. We can still do that now to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as your DNA reactivates, yes, we will be more spiritual beings. We'll be more lighter beings. So that means we'll have we'll have access to more information in our DNA because it reactivated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as the DNA reactivates, you will have the ability to really transport to Saturn or to Jupiter if you want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're right,
Okay.
but it's going to happen every few years. The two strands of your DNA is going to reactivate. It's going to reactivate. So even when you go back, you see how Anubis? You see Anubis? Anubis could be one being and then change to another being. Or you see
I
the
believe that.
lion. You see Sekhmet, the lioness, the goddess, and she had to have body and face, cat face. They were able to do that too. So this is what we're coming back to. We're at the end of the beginning. That's what's happening.
The golden age.
Right.
There's because we just had the Kali Yugo cycle.
Right.
Kali Yugo cycle.
Right. According
Okay.
to the Indian, right?
Yeah, that happened on January the 15th.
Yes, right.
Uh,
According to the Indian tradition. But but in African traditions, we are coming back to it's becoming back. It starts all over again. But what's happening is all those things that you see in superhero movies, some of it is still going on in Africa right now, but many of us are actually transforming into those beings. I'll give you an example. When I go back home to New York, right? For some reason, my powers get heightened. And what I mean by that is because there's so much electricity in New York. When you walk, the trains are underground. So every time my cousin would pick me up, he was like, every time I pick you up, you mess up my truck. I said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, right? I said, I don't mess it. He said, every time you get in my truck and you come back home, my truck, my electricity system gets messed up. That's not the beginning. So he has a microwave in the house. And I love New York pizza. I don't care what nobody said. Pizza is my favorite food. I love New York pizza. So I went down the street. I get a pizza. I come back. His microwave not working. I said, what's wrong with your microwave? He said, it don't work. That thing ain't been working for 2 months. I picked up the plug. I put it into the wall. The microwave came on. He said, how the hell you do that? I said, I don't
I'm gonna
know.
tell you something else too. The
Well,
whole time I'm sitting here, right? I'm wearing this show night. the piece of Selenite around my neck, and it
Uh-huh.
literally just it been rocking this whole time you've been talking.
Really?
Yeah,
But these are
yeah,
the things that we don't understand that we have. This is real. So when you look at what are those movies um,
like Marvel movies.
Marvel movies, and you see these superheroes, some of us have that ability, right? And it only
okay,
happens when I go back to New York. My powers get stronger. So the last thing that happened, his cell phone. He couldn't turn on his cell phone. So he's like, I don't know. I'm gonna take it down the street. I'll pay $100 to get it turned back on. Right? I said, give me your phone. So I look at the phone and I tapped it like this. I tapped it. The phone came back on. He said, I don't know what kind of, excuse my language, kind of shit you working with, but how the hell did you do that? He said, you mess up you mess up
yeah,
my electrical system in the car. And I said, it only happens when I come back to New York. So that means, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one who has, I'm sure many of us have it. It means that when I go back to New York, I'm so connected with the electrical systems because it's underground. It heightens my energy. Now, I'm in the South. It's not that much electricity here. So my energy is harnessed in different ways. I went outside, remember earlier? So I'm yelling at the kids.
Yeah.
I start yelling and the trees start going crazy. You see? But all of us have that abilities and some of us know how to use it and some of us don't. I tell people all the time, you could do that too. See, one of the things we teach in a class is when they get their initiations, and he was one of the ones who did it, I make them manifest their abilities to move different elements. So they have to make the wind blow. They have to make the fire move. They have to make the water move. When you're connected to these things, you can use your power to make them do what you want them to do. It's real.
Yeah. It's a fact.
So you're right, my brother. People are coming back into it, but we've been teaching it for years. Now go
Yeah.
outside tomorrow and I want you to yell at the trees and call on the spirit of the wind and watch the wind blow. Because I know you have that ability.
yeah. I'm a Gemini. I'm an air sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it don't matter. I'm an earth sign.
And I'm a water
And
sign.
he's a water sign. So if I see a water fountain, I go up the water fountain and I say, rise up, water, the water start rising.
Wow,
Yeah. You could
man. I
do it.
thank you. I thank both of you. At this time, even taking the time out to even be here. Um, to relate the message and all the information that was given. Much love to both of you. Much love to whatever you do in life. You got me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan. Definitely. I would like to leave a link in in this description below. Just text me the information. I'm gonna leave a link where everybody can reach you. It's like that that link, that little tree link.
Yeah.
I'll leave it in the bottom of the comments below,
I'll
and
send it when we get
where
off.
people can find you. This
Let me
been a
get
good interview, man. Here, man. I love it, man. Love it. I love just hearing people's different perspectives about spiritual journey and how they came to be who they are. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because everybody on their own yellow brick road trying to get to Emerald City.
Right.
But
Right.
definitely this ain't nothing but love right here. Much love to both of you. I thank you even coming here. I hope you can come here again and bless it again. It'd be a perfect time, down the line somewhere.
Okay.
Maybe you
Yeah,
can tell me
definitely.
about some of the other stuff.
Just let us know and try to get the book so you can get some of the stuff out of there because Spirit said you need it. But I'm going to tell you this too. Keep doing what you're doing because there's many that need your show. Try to do it consistently because there's many that needs what you're saying, needs what you're teaching. So Spirit is telling me for you to be very consistent with what you're doing, okay?
And also, Spirit said put protection around your family
Right.
and you and your wife's relationship. Y'all need to build a magical protection around it because people are
Yeah,
gonna tell
yeah,
y'all.
Yeah.
definitely.
I keep saying that y'all may have had some words recently, and Spirit is just saying work on that because people are gonna want to tear you apart.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. We like this, but we just we get it together. I mean, we might fuss it every now and then, but
Mm-hmm.
our love is real pure.
Y'all soulmates. That's why. Y'all
Right.
belong together. Y'all had two past lives together.
Yeah, I believe
Two.
it. I
Two.
can see it.
So yeah, but you know, don't let nobody get in there because the disagreeable spirits will try to break up that union. Your power and her power together is very powerful.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was telling you the other day. Y'all got to come together. If
Right.
she's practicing this, you need to practice this because y'all need to come together.
Right.
You can't be on one. Because what she's doing, the tradition you said she was more interested in, what she's doing, I'm not trying to take nothing away from what you want to learn, but it's like she's going to be up here and you're going to be down here because what she wants to do is more powerful than that. And I've seen what she's doing is I seen that shut down the stuff you want to practice
She
100
wants to deal
times.
with Oshun and all
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
she
Africa.
literally just said something out of her mouth and made somebody leave out of her presence because we had an issue. Where we was taking care of somebody. She said a couple words and literally the wind just blew through the house and that person just left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it's funny because I see that she carried the energy of
Oh, hold on.
Oshun. I was picking up Oshun.
I don't know.
So,
She's a Libra.
oh yeah. So
Yeah,
she
she's a
could
Libra.
be Oya, but I kept picking up Oshun probably because she wants to deal with Oshun. But if she's Oya, then
Yeah.
she
Yeah,
probably
she love
right.
Oye.
Okay,
Yeah,
See?
so she need to deal with
yeah,
Oh
Oya
yeah.
then.
Yeah.
yeah. She did with Oye and Ocean
Oh,
because
okay.
she got the beads, the
Let me
crystals.
just say, oh,
My daughter
Hmm.
is my youngest daughter is the daughter of Oya. And
Oya
she
is no
has a
joke.
shrine for Oya and she's no joke. When tornadoes are getting ready to come, I tell her go give Oya an offering so that tornadoes will pass the house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oya is no joke.
No
People
joke.
sleep on Oya. Oya is not to be played with.
Man, thank y'all so much, man. I know it's
You're
that
welcome.
time. Much blissful gratitude to you, both of you, on your journey. Much love.
Okay, well remember look up Ramesses the third now.
I
Okay?
will. I definitely want to look at the tribe that you gave me, the Evo
Ebo.
tribe.
It's IGBO.
IGEO.
B.
No, IGB is in boy. Oh,
IGBO.
right.
Yeah. See,
Ebo.
Okay, text that to me. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely text that to me. I'm finna be looking at that tonight.
Okay, we're gonna
I'm finna
text
look at that and next. I'm finna actually be going through some reading right now as soon as you send it to me.
you. Okay.
all right.
Maybe
All
next
right.
time we'll come on and do some readings if you're live with your audience. We'll do
Yeah,
some.
I do it during the daytime where I can link it through the Facebook and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got
Okay.
to do it because if that if we do readings, that's gonna pull more people into your
Into
channel.
your
Okay.
channel. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying maybe we
Yeah.
should do readings
Right.
because
So we
that
Yeah.
pulls
will
people in.
put you into your channel and more people will come. All right.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna
this,
post it all my channel. Like there's 17,000 people that almost 18 now that's following me on the TikTok. The TikTok was like 18,000 people following me. I used to do a clip of the snippet of the show and I'll post it on Facebook, and I just go ahead and just relate everything back, and hopefully it's gonna resonate with a lot of people because a lot of people is waking up out of the dream state right now. You know,
okay.
this is what
Well,
they want.
we're on Facebook and
Show them one more
YouTube.
time. Yeah, we're on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and don't forget everybody if they want to get the
That
book,
book, yes,
the Cosmic Oracle. I seen, I heard, and I know
And it's
it's on Amazon.
$14.99 on
on
Amazon.
Amazon.
Okay, I'll make sure I got that on my list right there. That's gonna be one of my books.
Okay.
You know, people got their tax money; they can do it now.
Okay.
For real.
All right.
All right, much
So,
love.
blessings to you and your family and your beautiful children and your wife. And we'll
Okay,
see you
much
soon.
love.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All
Blessings.
right.
All right. Peace,
Okay.
brother.
Yo, peace to everybody. This is Tribal Country. We out.
All right. Later.
Peace.
Yes.